Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Chris. Today, I'll just be talking out of my arse, to be honest, because yesterday was a bit of a weird day, and I didn't get as much done as I'd hoped to. I feel like that happens a lot. Some days I plan on just relaxing and doing nothing, and then I end up mowing the lawn, cleaning the kitchen, all those things. And other days I figure, okay, I'll just do this one sensible thing, and then I end up not doing that thing. I keep talking about my assignments, right? That I need to do the assignments and I need to write blog posts about them. I keep saying that, but I'm not really getting anywhere with it. I have yet to do even a single one of those assignments, but I get all kinds of other things done. So maybe I should start planning on doing other things instead, and then I'll accidentally get my assignments done. Or maybe my system is just wrong. Maybe I should, because right now they're to the right of me instead of in front of me, and I did that so that they didn't bother me too much, but maybe I should put them on the screen so I can see them. I've got post-it notes, by the way, to those of you who haven't heard that. I've got these post-it notes hanging to the right of me when I'm sitting in front of the computer, and I can kind of look over and see the things I need to do. But then, I'm mostly focused on the computer itself, and therefore I don't really get to, actually look at them. I just see them out of the corner of my eye, and maybe they're more stressful than they're gainful. It is what it is, though. And honestly, I just need to get it together. And yes, I know that's probably something that a lot of you have heard, and it's something I've heard from a lot of people too. And I actually hate it when other people say that, so maybe I shouldn't say it myself. Because it's not as simple as just getting it together. It's never that simple. And it has nothing to do with the whether or not I got it together. It has more to do with just my motivation, really. I don't have a lot of internal motivation, and I need to get that. I need to figure out a way to get that. So telling myself to just do it, and that it's easy, I can do it, no problem, those kinds of things are actually worse for me. They only serve to make it more difficult in the end, because they make it sound like I should be able to do this. Speaking of being able to do this, I actually do have something I want to tell you guys about. I've been looking into trying to get some certifications outside of school. And I realized that my union gives a lot of these webinars and seminars and all of that. But first of all, they're in Danish, and I plan on working internationally. And second of all, they aren't certifiable. Many of them aren't certified. Some of them are, but again, they're in Danish. And if I'm going to apply for a job in Canada or Spain, which are the two main places that I want to go, then a Danish certificate isn't quite as useful. So I started looking into other places, and I was like, okay, what about Skillshare? Because it doesn't have to be like real super useful certificates. They just need to be things that show that I do work outside of school. They need to show that I spent my summer learning more things, bettering myself, and that kind of thing. But I do need a certificate. I can't just be like, oh, I completed a course. So Skillshare was out of the question because they don't provide certificates, not even proof of completion. And then my girlfriend, she suggested LinkedIn Learning. And I'd had, some biases towards LinkedIn Learning, thinking, it's not that in-depth, it's not that great, and it's just a bunch of money out the window because it's really expensive. But then I decided to give it a shot, because she did mention it, and we couldn't find anywhere else. So I looked into it, and I actually ended up finding a lot of useful things that can give me badges, certificates, all kinds of things. And that's super useful because I do that with school as well. I'm aiming to get all of the badges The school gives out these badges. I've talked about it before, but I guess not everyone has heard about it. And it's not really, not this great, amazing badge that, well, yeah, let me start that over. It's not an amazing badge that'll magically get me a job. It's definitely not. It's just a small thing that shows, okay, I completed a tiny course. I have a laser cutter and a 3D printer badge so far. And that's not really that impressive, but it's a little extra that I can add to my portfolio. Resume, not portfolio. To us, they're kind of mixed. Our portfolio is our resume. So, yeah. It's better to, rather than saying I worked for this business, it's better to show I did this work. Because then they can actually see the quality of your work. And sure, it's also really great to have actual business experience and stuff, but it's more so they're very focused on work a lot of the time. And LinkedIn Learning just provides, I've found more than 100 courses spread out over some different learning paths. I've got 12 learning paths that will give me badges, and then all of the courses in the learning paths will give me individual certificates of completion. And that's pretty amazing, to be honest. That's going to give me a lot to add to my portfolio. And I'm not going to be able to just do them overnight, of course. It's an investment with both time and money and energy. But it's an investment I'm willing to make, and some of the courses are actually really, really short. And that's what I mean. Like, these certificates, they don't need to be proof that I'm really good at something. They just need to be proof that I completed things. So some of these courses are like an hour long. So I sit down, I put it at 125 speed maybe, because oftentimes it depends on the lecture and the person teaching, but a lot of times I find that it's a little too slow. My brain is just in a higher gear sometimes. So I actually gain more. When I was learning to program, I would always put it at 1.5. And to a lot of people, that was insane. But to me, it just made more sense. So I'm going to do something similar here. And then I'm going to watch it through, and I'm going to be listening. I'm going to be learning about user experience design, project management. I'm going to be learning some things that I already know about, like SQL, NoSQL, HTML, CSS, those kinds of things, in order to get a tiny certificate that says, hey, this guy completed this thing. So yeah, that's going to be my summer. Aside from, of course, I'm traveling to Canada to finally see my girlfriend, and I'm really excited for that. But she has work all summer. So while she's at work, I don't have a whole lot of things to do. Of course, I could go out and see the town, but I'm supposed to do that with her. So, I might do it a little bit, but I'm going to be there for 8 weeks. So it's not like I don't have the time. There's even a small desk in my room that I'm renting. I'm going to use that desk to, sit there doing these courses, improving my portfolio. And gonna keep trying my best. And one of the reasons I need to do it pretty early on is that I want to go to Spain in my third semester. And that means I have to apply in like 6 months. And that's, not a long time, honestly, because I need to apply, I need to get approved, I need to figure things out with the people there. So I should definitely be talking to them prior. I need to set up my portfolio, I need to get all of these badges, and then as soon as school starts back up, I need to get in touch with the people that handle exchange. Gotta get in touch with some Spanish people. Luckily, I speak Spanish pretty well. I'm one of those people who speak Spanish as a school language, which means that I can sit down and I can watch a Spanish movie, but subtitles are preferable. And I am going to have to ask people to please talk a little more slowly, And I spent a long time creating sentences. You've noticed how long I spent trying to find the words even in English. I do the same thing in Danish, my mother tongue. I actually speak more. I'm more fluent in English, I'd say. I'm just more comfortable. I feel like I can express myself in better ways. But you'll still see how often I stop for a little while to find the right word, to figure out what I want to say, and it's so much worse in Spanish. Of course it is. And that's one of the reasons I want to go to Spain. It's because I can actually, for the most part, I can understand like 90% of what anyone says to me. I can read newspapers and articles and ads. I can spend my time there. I can actually understand things. I won't be isolated. I'll go out, I'll meet people, and I'll improve my Spanish. And I know that half a year isn't long, but you gotta remember, I'm already considered not fluent, but pretty high level in Spanish. My comprehension is high, and even my vocabulary is high. I just don't have a lot of practice using it. So give me 6 months where I use it on a daily basis, and I will walk out on the other side with a much improved Spanish. And I'll be able to put that on my resume too. I'll be able to use that when I go to an employer. I'll be like, I speak 3 languages, passably. And that's useful in case we're working with international clients. And also, it's one of those weird things where imagine you have 2 otherwise equally qualified candidates, but one of them speaks a 3rd language, or actually, like, I'll be working in an English-speaking country, and yes, I know French would probably be better. Maybe I should learn French at some point. I should get it together and start learning. But I could always do that later. I'm in no rush to start learning French. I really want to get my Spanish down first so I don't accidentally mix them up or anything. But yeah, so English-speaking country, Canada. French would be better. And that's another thing. Imagine that. You have 2 equally qualified candidates. You don't actually need someone who speaks French. But one speaks Spanish and the other speaks French. You hire the one speaking French. As for me, if you have 2 otherwise equally qualified candidates, but I speak 3 languages and the other person only speaks 1, everything else is equal. Gotta remember, our skill level, our education, all of that is pretty equal. So you hire the person who just has that little extra, even if you don't actually need it. Because it's just a higher qualification. And also, there's actually a tendency among businesses to be more willing to hire people who have experience in different countries. So me being schooled in Denmark, then in Spain, and then having my internship in Calgary, Canada. Sorry. Well, now you know specifically where I want to go, but it's a big city, so that's actually going to look really good on my CV, my resume. That's going to look better than just a little good. And that it doesn't matter where I apply for a job at that point. And I could go back to Spain, I could come back to Denmark, I could stay in Canada. I'm actually hoping to get my internship prolonged, I suppose, like make it so that I get a job. Okay, what I'm trying to say is I'm hoping that I'll find a great place to work for that internship, and then I'll show them just how qualified I am, and there'll be a job waiting for me once I graduate. That's what I'm hoping for. Especially because it's going to be a little weird. I'm going to talk more about this at some other point, but just to cover it really quickly, it's not easy to move all of your things from one country to another, and oftentimes you're better off just buying new stuff. But I'll be moving countries a lot. From Denmark to Spain, maybe back to Denmark, and otherwise directly to Calgary. Actually, definitely back to Denmark, because I need to go back here for the summer. Then to Calgary, Canada. God damn it, I keep making that mistake. Well, then to Canada, then back to Denmark for a couple of months again, because it's actually only a 4-month internship, and then 2 months in Denmark. And then I want to move back to Canada. So that's that would be very expensive if I had to like transport my things back and forth. And I would have to do that. I mean, sure, I could keep my stuff in Canada once I'm there and just not bring it back to Denmark to begin with and all that. But it's not really feasible that I move from Denmark to Spain to Denmark to Canada to Denmark to Canada. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. And, you know, the cost of transporting a freaking couch is not happening. I'm going to have to live a very weird life. I'll just have my laptop and a bed, a desk. Honestly, I'm thinking of not even getting a TV. I'm thinking I'll live very minimalistically and just a small 1-bedroom apartment, save up some money, and then, like I said, just maybe not even a bed, but just a mattress on the floor so that I don't have to pay for the bed. And then a desk with a chair. That's gonna be it, and it's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to it. And when the time comes, I hope that I can afford to buy myself a proper work laptop. I'm looking at getting myself a laptop studio. Yeah, Surface Laptop Studio Laptop. I never remember the order they say it in, because it looks incredible and it will fulfill a lot of roles, both when it comes to entertainment and work. So, yeah. It's expensive though, but it's a lot cheaper in different countries than Denmark. I should look into what it costs in Spain. I've only looked into what it costs in Canada. Anyway, this has gone on way too long already. It has been so enjoyable talking to you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.